Hi, welcome to Adventures in Bonsai. Today we're going to take a look at a fig specimen that I got at the Weigert's Bonsai Nursery. I got it because its trunk is very interesting. It looks like it might be a long leaf fig or ficus tree. Ficus or figs are found in Southeast Asia and Eastern Mediterranean areas. They've been there for many years. They've been grown by people and taken to all parts of the world, and they've changed in the different varieties because of the different circumstances that they grow in. So this longleaf variety is certainly an interesting looking one, and we're going to take a look at it. The problem is that this specimen I got, I was warned that it had very little root system to it yet, that it was just developing its roots. So I had the question of whether to transplant it now or let it grow some roots into the bonsai soil and then transplant it. But I decided to get brave and to see how the sphagnum moss system works on plants like this. So let's go take a look at what happened with one of my other plants that I was worried about.
Here we have the Percularia. This is a rather large succulent that I really didn't know how it was going to do, but just take a look at the branches and how little growth there is on it. There's some, as you can see, there's some growth on it, and we went and we transplanted this in the sphagnum moss. Let's go see how it's doing now. A week and a half since we did this tree, and in the sphagnum moss now, if you take a look, you can see just how well this tree is doing. Look at all this growth coming out of here. The tree looked like it was almost dead before. But the miracle of sphagnum moss, this tree just loves it. Okay, let's get back to the specimen ficus tree. As you can see, it's got this nice, very interesting trunk to it. And it's growing, doing okay. It's got leaves going on. But I also notice a lot of little ants running around here. I don't know if they're coming from the plant or not. When we take this out of the pot, we'll see. The other day I tried to move it around to see if it would come out solidly, and it really doesn't. It just kind of looks like it's coming out. I'm not sure what's going to be under there. But we're going to take a look and put this into sphagnum moss and see if it does better. Let's take this out of the pot and see what's going on with it. I see ants crawling around. Oh boy. Not much of anything here. Okay, I'll wash this off and show you what's going on. Okay, this has very limited root structure. A couple little pieces of bark I want to get out of here. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this plant with very few roots responds to sphagnum moss. Okay, once again, pot with the hole that I drilled in it. I've got a quantity of sphagnum moss here that was a little bit overdone from the other day. I put the excess just into a pot like that. Now this is going to have to go in fairly deep. You can still have a good base for these roots here to get into. Now how to put this thing? I think I want to put this thing like this. Now the question is, how much sphagnum moss to put there? Let's see what happens here. So I'm lay this moss down gently on it. Put it in the position I want. Make sure I have enough so the sphagnum moss will hold it. And then start laying in the moss. I find it's good to use big clumps of it in the beginning. Helps hold the tree up. Of course, once again, good contact, very important. Okay, the tree is in pretty good position. I'll come back. I'm into rocks lately, as you've noticed. Number one, they take up space that you might have to use surface moss on, and they also kind of look good. I'm going to put this one here, which has been around for a while. It's got some green algae growing on or whatever. I'm going to try and stick this in the corner here. Dig out a little bit more of a hole. Put it in. Now I'm going to add some more sphagnum moss, make it stay better. Okay, I got a lot of sphagnum moss in there. Now I'm going to use Dutch's tool and use that to clean off the edges here, find out any hollow stuff. The boulder's in pretty good. Back here is not bad. Use a little bit more pressure down on here to hold this in good. Okay, I found some hollow spots. I want to fill them up with sphagnum moss. Okay, got some moss. I want to put it on. Okay, we have the tree planted. It's been mossed up. Over time, the moss should look better and better. Now let's go take a look and see what we need to do, if anything, about trimming this thing up, which is a little questionable in this case. I've been looking at this tree a lot the last couple of days, trying to figure out what exactly it is I'd like to do with it, and I'm still not sure. Just not sure. But maybe we'll figure it out right now. And remember, when you're doing this stuff, take your time. I'm limited to 10 minutes per video on YouTube, so I got to get all this in within 10 minutes. But you have the advantage of having all the time you want to do this, and you should take your time with it. This little branch or trunk here, or whatever you want to call it, stem sticking up. And what I want to do is I want to cut this off, but I don't want to damage the leaves. And the thing is, usually I can cut stuff off with clippers, but this is such a thick structure here, I'm going to have to use a saw. And you don't want to use any power saws because it makes too much heat, and that can create a problem to the plant. So I'm going to saw this by hand, and we'll see how it goes. I think it's called a coping saw. Actually, this is made for cutting things in a fine manner. So let me see if I can get into where I want to get to, which is right around here. Let's see how this... Of course, now I realize I'm moving this plant around a lot more than I wanted to, but it is cutting through this. Okay. Go on. Now, the thing is, usually with my plants, I won't put a sealer on areas I cut unless they're really big. This is a little bit biggish, so maybe I'm going to put a little sealer on it just to play it safe. Here's the pruning seal I'm going to use. I hardly ever use this stuff. What I'm going to do is put a little bit on the rag and dab it on. So I'm going to spray this onto here and just a little bit on there, and that's that, just to protect it a little. Okay, so I want to clean up some of this old stuff that's in here. There's some dying leaves in here.